Congratulations on this film, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
First question I have for you is that this seems like the hero's journey for Cora and Gunnar, but it's also a story of redemption. How does that apply to those two characters?
You're right. I mean, Zack and I are huge Joseph Campbell fans, and that's kind of how we laid out this whole timeline of movie 1 and movie 2, which I'm not going to talk about. But, you know, both characters have a past, and both characters have an unbelievable trajectory towards the end of this film and certainly the next film. Have you seen the film?
I have.
Okay. All right. Well, okay, great.
Well, let me ask you this, because one of my favorite characters in the film is Jimmy. Talk to me about the character Jimmy.
Jimmy is amazing. Like, I mean, first off, to have Sir Anthony Hopkins voicing Jimmy, like, you know, that just brings me chills thinking about it. And there, you know, the scene between him and Sam, when she puts flowers on his head, I'm losing it. So it's a fantastic character. I think Anthony Hopkins, of course, did an amazing job, and also Dustin, who did the actual acting in the suit, was unbelievable. Like, his emotion on set, even though you couldn't see him and he's just walking around with, you know, ping pong balls on and, you know, like, he's just doing his thing, it was unbelievable. Yeah.
You've worked with Zack before, and this story has been in his head for over 20 years. Can you talk about building this world with Zack?
Yeah, absolutely. So he had thought about this in college, this idea. It wasn't really kind of a one line, like maybe it's the Wild Bunch in outer space, that kind of idea. But it was always on the back burner. In 1997, so 26 years ago, on an airplane, he said to me, what's your favorite movie? And I was like, Seven Samurai. He was like, he was like, oh my God, well, I'm Star Wars. And I was like, well, yeah, you have to say Star Wars, but you know, but I was trying to be like, kind of cool. And so we basically started talking then, and he was just like, maybe we can make that movie one day. And I was like, we hadn't made a movie. We weren't even in the business. We were just, you know, shooting music videos and commercials and things like that. Yeah. So about 5 years later, like around 03, 04, he was like, hey, let's start just writing down like cool characters. Maybe there could be this. Maybe it's a heist film. Like, we're just spitballing. It didn't go anywhere. He took some shots with Lucas. They said no. He was heartbroken. It's probably the best thing that happened to him, in hindsight, because that is a specific universe, and the guardrails are already up. And Netflix has been an unbelievable partner to take an original IP, put their trust into Zack, and to say, go for it. And so we had really no restrictions. So I think the thing that's interesting about that is then right around COVID, I had just finished working with him on another script called Blood and Ashes. He was like, hey, maybe we revisit, we were calling it, at that time we were calling it The Five. And like, maybe we revisit that. And I was like, okay. And so I went over to the house, and he's like, I've been thinking about it. And I walked into his office, and it's like, he's drawn like storyboards, and he has keyframe art, and like, you know, he's had people like artists like doing things. I'm like, are you kidding me? And he's like, let's do this. And so then we started writing the draft, and you know, we're about halfway, 2/3 of the way through, and then Shay Hatton came on, and Shay has been an unbelievable contributor and creative partner, and yeah, it's been super fun. Yeah.